Hello everyone, this is the video for week 6. This is basically going to be our exam week for our calculus class. What I'm going to cover in this video is going to be two big things. One is going to be some observations that I've made from the turned in work. And the second part is going to be a two-parter about the exam. Okay, so first let me get into the turned in work. There's 3 points that I want to make, or the 3 points that I want to sort of put out there. The first one is that there's a couple of you in the class that just need to show more work. I know that you probably had figured out an answer for it using some other method. And you sort of just put down the answer and you tried to do some work, but then the work just doesn't completely hold water. I don't see the steps completely. So that's one. Just be cautious, and it's a good time now to be sort of thorough with your work. So showing more work, showing every single step. Okay. The second thing that I want to say is sometimes I've seen work that that the answer is correct, but the work doesn't match that answer. Like something canceled out wrong, and just by a miracle, it's equal to the correct answer. And I don't see the work that connects it. So just make sure you show just your work. Just show your work and make sure that it's matching the answer. And the last one is the one that's a bit more troubling. There's been a substantial amount of people, not a large majority, but it's a substantial bit, that are using processes that aren't allowed in class yet. So what do I mean by that? So when from chapter 2.4, section 2.4, 3.1, 3.2, some of you guys are using the shortcuts to take the derivative, and I see no work, even though it says take the derivative by the definition, right? Another big violator is there is a rule in calculus called L'Hopital's rule for solving limits, and some of you have been using that, which is in our class. It's going to be section 4.7, 4.8, I believe. Some of you are using that to solve limits, and that's perfectly fine, but we haven't gotten there yet. So for the students that have done that, right, that's an automatic telltale sign that you are using some other method to get your answers without doing it using the processes shown in class. So please use the processes that are allowed in the class at this point, okay? And as always, just follow directions. Follow the directions for the problem itself. Okay. Second thing. Now the exam. This is going to be a two-parter thing. So I'm going to discuss the exam and the practice exam sort of at the same time. Okay. So let me start off with the practice exam. Okay. The practice exam was made after the exam was made, so I made a direct copy of it. Okay. There's going to be 5 attempts total for the practice exam, okay? You are not going to be required to show any work for the practice exam, okay? The highest grade for your practice exam sticks. So if you get the 120 out of 120 after the 4th attempt, and then you try to take it a 5th time, and you drop down to an 80, that one won't count. Okay, so it's just going to be that 120 that you got on the 4th try, okay? It's made to look like the actual exam, so it's also timed. No hints, no nothing, so that you can sit down for the 2 hours and actually treat it like one. So try to get into the habit of showing your work, putting everything down in the 2 hours that is allotted. Okay. Again, make sure to follow directions and use methods from class. So no use of L'Hopital's rule yet, even though you might know it, even though you might have read about it ahead. We haven't, as a class, gotten there. Okay, and follow directions. If the If the problem says do the derivative by the definition, right, then you have to do the limit as h approaches 0 of f of x plus h minus f of x all divided by h. If you do it by shortcut, I am not going to give you full credit for it, okay? And the practice exam will be due, I have it here Friday, 9:30 at midnight. So you have until Friday to do the practice exam, okay? Now, for the actual exam, okay, it is timed, okay? It is a 2-hour test, and then I'm going to tack on another 15 minutes for you to figure out how to turn in your work. For the actual exam, your solutions must be provided. Your solutions must be provided, and they must be turned in within the 15 minutes of the submittal of your test, okay? And all of these things, so your submission of your work and the submitting of your test, they are timestamped. I have had students turn in write-ups a cool 3-4 hours after, and I've had to give them zeros. They are not following directions, and they are giving themselves extra time. So I'm enforcing basically an honor code here, okay? Once the clock starts, it will not stop, okay? So you'll get the full 2 hours and 15 minutes. Once you hit start, the clock will not stop. You have the 2 hours from that point to take it. Okay. I am not going to grant any makeups. There are going to be no exceptions to that rule. Mostly because I cannot verify any excuse that you guys have. Okay. I am trying to enforce a time limit for everybody, and allowing makeups will not allow that to happen. Okay. The due date for it will be this Saturday, the 1st, at midnight. It'll open up the Friday before. Okay, so it'll open up on the 30th. Okay, so you'll have essentially 2 days to take your test. All right, let me take a look at my notes here. What was the last thing? That one. So the online system that I'm using for the exam is going to be randomizing the questions every time. So that's why when you go through the practice exam, the first time, you'll get a set of questions, right? You'll go through it a second time. Those same questions are now going to be different. You may get something that might be similar, and that's fine. But the exam is made to change problems every attempt, okay? Which means that the online system for your exams will also do the same. So even if you want to take this with a friend next to you, you won't be able to get the same problems. The exam is designed that way, okay? And because I'm using that online system, it's going to give you a grade. So the online system will give you a grade. It's essentially your homework system, okay? It's going to give you a grade. It is not the grade. It is not the grade for the test. I will have to go through your write-ups and see your submittals and see your solutions. And based on that, I will give partial credit. In most cases, in a large percentage of cases, I'd want to say like 80 to 90% of the cases, I look at write-ups and grades go up after that, okay? There have been 1 or 2 every semester that either violate the rules, don't follow directions, and I have to give them all a 0. Okay, so please follow the directions for the exam. I'm trying to enforce as best I can some sort of time limit for everybody. I need to measure how well you guys have all studied for the calculus class. And without being too intrusive, this is the best thing I got. Okay. If there are any questions from anybody in the class, I'm on my emails mostly in the early mornings on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and in the afternoons later on at night. So don't hesitate to send me an email. I'm in the Math Tutoring Center on campus, and I usually have my Zoom open then, so drop me a line. All right. Besides that, I'll see you guys around, and good luck studying.